gSignature is an app for centrally managing email signatures. It allows changing signatures for all employees in the company with one click. To begin, we will integrate the tool by adding a new API client in the Google Workspace environment. Click here. It will take us to the Google integration settings and the detailed instructions for installing the application. We log into Google's admin console, copy the ID and access scopes, and paste them into the admin console. To do this, we go to the Security tab. Access to the data and control over it. Access to APIs and managing access delegation across the domain. We are adding a new API client, the copied identifier and ranges. Thanks to this, gSignature will download the account structure and save employee data. Click Authorize and the integration is ready. We're moving directly to the application now to perform the first synchronization. In the Employees tab, click the Sync Google button to download the current account structure and employee data. In this section, there are more options, which we will discuss later in the instructions. At this stage, it's worth checking the settings, e.g., which employee data has been synchronized, and possibly add or remove redundant data. By default, the system synchronizes from Google Workspace the first and last name, email address, profile picture, job title, and main phone number. Main, mobile phone, and department name. You can view the contents of these fields by opening the specific employee file in the Employees tab. Finally, it's also worth checking the advanced options because we have the option to set synchronization with Google Workspace, which we discuss in the next part of this material. Employees tab. It is here that we started synchronizing employee data with Google Workspace. Let's see what else we can do here. We have the possibility to search for a specific employee email address and filter accordingly based on the implemented signature. By status, who currently has a footer set or who hasn't had it implemented yet, and by the status excluded from footers, excluded from the footers. This option allows excluding selected email addresses from central management, in the case where technical addresses are present in the company. It's worth noting that by excluding selected accounts, we can reduce the application's costs, as the excluded addresses do not count towards the subscription. Send a message to the employees. After clicking, we can send a message to people in the domain. This option allows informing employees, for example, about a new tool for managing signatures, and encourage them to update the data and confirm their signature themselves. Each employee has their own file. Let's take a look at an example. The Download Report button allows you to download employee data with current information in a CSV file format. In the next function, the Import wizard can be used to update the data. This greatly simplifies working on multiple records using a single file. Open the Import wizard allows you to import employee data independently, directly into the gSignature app from a CSV file, for example, from a previously downloaded and updated report. We recommend preparing such a CSV file in advance, for example with a report, and we can open it in Google Sheets to edit or fill in the missing data. At the import stage, we can specify whether the new data should immediately refresh in the employee's signatures or just be imported. By going to the tab and footer, we can choose a ready-made signature template from the free template library or add our own design. In the library, we can use free templates for learning, inspiration, or customizing a specific template according to our needs. All templates include pre-written HTML code and suggested dynamic variables. Before the final implementation, make sure that all the variables you want to use are active in the settings and that the employee's data is filled out on their accounts. By clicking the Add New button, takes us directly to the team. Each footer design is given a name, so you can filter accounts by signature in the Employees tab. Below, you can see the editor, where we directly paste the footer in graphical mode from the clipboard or switch to HTML mode. we have the option to attach to the signature template. Link in the description. Banner, or a legal notice. These elements are managed separately in the Extensions tab. The dynamic variables are listed below the editor. They allow for the personalization of the signature for each employee. We substitute dynamic variables in HTML mode to maintain the correct formatting. When we have a ready project, we can save it, or save and install it for employees who previously already had the signature implemented. On the list of saved templates under each project, there is a toolbar that contains options such as editing the template and assigning dynamic variables describing employee data, duplicating the entire footer along with adding links, banners, or disclaimers. Details. The most important place where we install footers for employees. Trash. We delete the entire project and copy the footer template in HTML mode to the clipboard. The Extension tab is where we set up links, banners, or legal disclaimers. They will also display in this order in our signature. As a link, for example, we can include a link to sign up for the newsletter or fill out a product survey. The banner can direct to the latest promotion or an invitation to an organized training. Links and banners can additionally be monitored in Google Analytics reports. A reservation is an informational clause, for example, about the company, its registration details, or the entity responsible for data processing. Let's move on to installing the prepared signature. By clicking on Details, we proceed to the implementation. In the top right corner, there's a Set for All button, which sets the footer for everyone in the entire domain. We can also install the footer for selected users from the list of the user who is currently logged into the application, as well as for units and groups, if they are filled in Google Workspace. We recommend first installing the signature for one or a few users as a test to see how the installed template looks. Next, proceed with the installation for units, groups, or the entire domain. Let's remember that the user, he could see his new signature but needs to refresh the Gmail browser first. Settings. Here we set, among other things, company data, variables describing employees, and how synchronization with Google Workspaces works. Let's go to the Employee Data tab. When you click on the drop-down list, you have the option to select and activate dynamic variables, which will be used in the chosen signature template. If you want to create such a variable yourself, it is possible. Just enter it without special characters and without breaking lines. After saving, it will be on the list. The administrator decides whether the employee can edit their own data after logging into the application or not, and should the field appear as mandatory to fill out. Finally, a message for administrators who want employees to be able to edit their signature data and install it themselves. When will we share the application link with the employee? For example, by sending a message to all users in the domain, the employee only gets access to the My End tab, to which they can log in using their Google credentials. In the tab, you can preview exactly how your footer looks. There is also the possibility of copying it in HTML mode, for example, to an external email program. Below are the employee details, which they can edit themselves. Of course, if the admin sets this option. In the Settings tab. Below, we can see a place to upload a profile picture. The editor also allows for proper cropping and background removal. To confirm changes, click the Save and Install button so the new signature appears after refreshing in Gmail. Thank you for watching our guide. If you still need more information, we invite you to the help section on our website.